the senior tour and the best of the touring professionals. A bowler has an opportunity to win $63,000.
That's a lot of bucks. Chris will update our viewers on the interesting format later on in our telecast today. But now in our second match, let's see if Ricky Ward can get out to the quick lead against Ozio that he did against Brian Goebel. First shot.
Six pin for the man that was one of 9 to shoot a perfect 300 game.
Ricky Ward qualified 4th, but he had trouble striking in the crucial 10th frames yesterday, and it might be working on his mind. He had a chance to lead this tournament in the 42nd game against Albee last night, and he left a 6-pin just like that shot. And so if Ozio can press him here to the 10th, I think the advantage swings to David Ozio.
The 1991 Player of the Year from Vidor, Texas. Smooth and powerful.
Mr. Practice in the sport of bowling. He's versatile. He's taking 4 steps today. He's getting the ball away in perfect position. Look at all these positions. Now watch how he hits the foul line again. Watch how solid he is with that left foot. Look at that. You know, if you roll.
So he's left a 4.
You know, he's bowling so good today, Chris. You know, it's just like a baseball pitcher. Some days you have it and some you don't. 3rd pin on the left hand's part of your screen. The 2-pin goes flying around the 4-pin. But he's throwing so good that he's disappointed every time he doesn't strike.
But he continues to mark. You know, tonight, John Ritter is in love, but she's getting married to his brother. Mel Harris and John Ritter star in My Brother's Wife, followed by The Commish, all coming up tonight on ABC. What a nice break for Ricky Ward, who won the first game 279 to Brian Goebel's 200.
This is the opposite of the 4-pin for the lefty. The 3-pin goes to the sideboard and trips out misses the 6, but trips out the 8. Just one thing to watch for as we go along in today's 90-minute telecast. These lanes have had a tendency to dry up. The oil on the lanes have dried up, and the players had them continually move all day long. In fact, when they started, say for the right-handers, they were playing around the 2nd arrow in the morning, and by the evening they were playing the 5th arrow. So each of these players, both the lefties and righties, the only righty left, Ozio, will have to be aware of that and make adjustments.
And another thing to look forward to, Bo, is the 21-year Navy veteran who is in his first TV telecast as a professional bowler, Kirk Von Kruger, will meet the winner of this game.
Yeah, in this semifinal, Kirk is going to be very tough. He'll be interesting.
Okay, now Ozio, 3rd frame, spare working. 2nd game of the afternoon.
Is that a confident look on his face?
The 1991 Player of the Year, David Ozio, went into a slump in '92. Earlier, he explained how he dug his way out in '93.
Well, the public just doesn't realize what it takes to have a $225,000 a year out here on tour. It's nothing short of picking 5 out of 6 numbers in the lottery. In '92, tight lane conditions and the lack of equipment to handle it kind of got me in trouble. So, you know, I went to work on my game, learned how to adjust my speeds, and came out in '93 with better equipment and became a better bowler. And now I just strive to be the player I want to be.
So the man who won 4 tournaments in '91 to become Player of the Year has left the 316. That year he won the AC Delco, the Showboat, Tournament of Champions, and in Rochester.
When he says lack of equipment, the whole bowling industry was going through the transitions from regular urethane bowling balls to reactive urethane bowling balls, and he just wasn't armed with that type of equipment in the middle of '92. He's made that change, and he's ready to roll.
Two pins separating these 2 champions, Ozio and Ward. And a few moments ago, David Ozio had this slip. Okay? To me, it's a stick. Whatever. But anyway, he did all right, marked with a spare. And he has a 2-pin lead on Ricky Ward, who's now shooting in the 4th, with a spare up. Second game for Ricky. Won the first one 279 to 200. Okay, Bo.
Thank you, Chris Schenkel. With me is Kirk Von Kruger. Kirk, this is your first television performance. However, you have a unique style where you never look at your opponent. What is the reason for this?
Well, I started doing that a couple of months ago. I found that it helps my concentration. And I used to get involved in everything that went on around me, and it helps me keep focused.
A little nervous?
A little nervous.
That's important. You're going to do very well. He's coming up next game, Chris. Back to you.
Mm-hmm. Leaving a 2-7 on the left lane, Ricky Ward. Kirk Von Kruger, former Navy air traffic controller. Now, Ricky Ward's approach to this.
The 2-7, flat shot. Oh, not flat enough.
And Ozio leads by 14.
What a reprieve for Ozio, who has really had 2 marginal shots on the left-hand lane. Chris, as you said, he's had trouble with the approach. Whether it's a stick or a slip, it's still trouble. And so right now he finds himself in the lead by 14 pins.
Gives you marginal thoughts, too, doesn't it, when you're competing?
Boy, that is an excellent point. And I think that the only drawbacks we see in the industry, or even hear the players talk about, is you see this ball drifting high for the 3-6 spare, about the synthetic lanes, are not the lanes themselves, the surface. The approaches are unpredictable. Some days they're slippery, some days they're sticky, sometimes the left is sticky. It's hard to control.
Successful on the 3-6, and David still troubled by it. But they work it out.
The Wizard, as I like to call him, Mr. Practice, practices over 100 games a week. Pretty standard style. He has almost perfect form. He starts here. He'll be right around between the second and third arrows. But check this arm swing out. Perfectly straight.
That's beautiful. 5'11", 175 pounds, 39-year-olds. And the 25-year-old Ricky Ward.
Another tremendous arm swing, as you'll see him coming right down. You see that little seam in the lane. It's filled with epoxy, so the lane's very smooth.
And a 7-pin on the right lane for Ricky.
The first solid tap we've seen of the match for Ricky Ward. He left a couple of 6-pins to open this match and had what we call a weak 7 in his 279 opening game. However, this was near perfect hit, got wrapped.
Okay, the leading money winner thus far this year, $210,810, Walter Ray Williams, Jr.
Walter didn't compete this week, and some of the other solid name stars as you look through the top 5. Now here's the players on a record average pace. Arnold, Amleto, Monicelli, Foss in second, and Walter Ray. The record is 221, held by Mark Roth.
Striking the 7th frame for Ricky Ward in our second match here in Wichita. This break, and then we return. Mike Albee, the PBA president.
Tough man to knock out that #1 position. He threw a double in the 10th against Ricky Ward last night. Now you look at David Ozio. See that one shoe? He discarded one. Actually, he says the approaches are fine. He must have gotten some perspiration on his left sliding shoe, causing him to stick. He's made a change, as all these players carry tons of custom-made shoes. Let's see if it works.
Sure did. Giving him a big double, and his lead is out to 22.
You know, that's a point that we overlook sometimes, as you see the reaction of David Ozio on a perfect shot, hitting the line solid. When, as you say, Chris, just the idea of knowing you're going to be solid will help you make a good shot. Players carry 6, 7, 8 bowling balls. They also carry 5, 6, 7 pairs of shoes, different heels, different sliding soles, everything to accommodate the approaches that we hit around the country.
You say custom-made shoes?
And here's a custom-made strike. You're right, Chris. The head pin goes to sideboard. It does the damage around the 2, 4, 5, and 8, and yet it's the 8 pin that twists around and gets the 7. That was an unusual strike, and Ozio likes it as he's opened up a 32-pin lead on gutsy little Ricky Ward. He needs to strike right here. Chris, just to answer your question, most all the players have their shoes made. I mean, you just can't bowl at this level and depend on house shoes or something like that. Not that there aren't good brands out there, but these players like complete comfort.
Okay.
Ward's still in this match. He's only trailing by 22 pins. He has a possible 226. Ozio going at a 218 pace.
Nope, the 7 pin.
Well, 2 key 7 pins. 1 in the 6th, 1 in the 9th has put Ricky Ward in a position where he needs to throw strikes, and David Ozio has to have some problems.
Tomorrow on ABC Sports, we begin with live coverage of one of IndyCar's most challenging tests, the Michigan 500. Then the racing action continues with the grand finale of the International Race of Champions. All tomorrow, ABC Sports.
Chris, your buddy Phil Capaldi is leading that IndyCar series this year, right at the top.
He's so smooth. So is Paul Tracy, his teammate. So is Roger Penske, who owns the cars.
Ozio apparently has corrected his shoe problem, which was basically perspiration dropping on the synthetic approaches. Ozio sets up, makes sure his ball is in a perfect, comfortable position, and he resets his eyes. He really isn't worrying about his ball. He wants to refocus. You don't want to keep your eyes on the target too long.
He's gone 5 now.
Hey, David, I think it's the 10th frame. You're due up again. Maybe I've lost track of the score here, but Wizard should be up finishing this game out for 248. I don't know what's happening. Frank Esposito, he'll let him know. This man is out of it. Ricky Ward, that's the 10th frame. Best you can bowl is 205. David Ozio sitting on the bench. He should have been finished. So to update the folks watching at home, they really didn't bowl out of order. Ozio will finish up a possible 248. He has the match well in hand. No matter what he gets on the shot, he will meet Kirk von Kruger. Okay, Ozio will be in the 230s. If he makes the 310 split, it'll be 236. If he gets 9, it's 235.
There, it did it again. Tip of the day, stick at the line and milk the split. 236 for the winner. David Ozio will meet Kurt von Kruger. This week's Choice Hotels International Tip of the Week features Dave Davis with some weighty advice.